This is Jack Moelmann, and today is July 5th, 2013. We have Dan Minervini with us today. He's a youngster that is performed just a little while ago, less than an hour ago. It's part of the Young Theatre Organist Society's Young Organist Competition, and we're here at the Strand Theatre in Marrietta, Georgia, as part of the 2013 American Theatre Organist Society Convention. Just by way of introduction, in last night's banquet, even though he wasn't there because he was busy practicing for today, he was recognized as receiving a scholarship this year, the award of being Student of the Year. He's also the Youth Representative to the ATOS Board of Directors this year, and he'll have that job for a couple years, and one of the finalists in the Young Theatre Organists Competition. So Dan, welcome, and it's sort of are you glad the competition is over?
Yeah, I definitely am. It's a lot of pressure off now, so.
Now they haven't picked the winner yet, so we can't announce that here, but in fact, let me straighten the camera up a little bit here. We'll see how that turns out. Well, how old are you?
I'm 19 right now.
Okay, speak up.
I'm 19 right now.
Okay. When did you first get interested or start being interested in music?
Well, I was in 6th grade when they started offering, no, 4th grade when they started offering instruments in my elementary school, and I actually started out with the violin. I had a piano at home that I would just kind of mess around on, but I never really took it seriously. And then after doing the violin for 2 years, I couldn't really get the attachment to it. I played it through middle school, but I just couldn't really get into it that much. But once I had actually found the theater organ, and I'll get into that in a little while, that's when I really started to take off with music and actually really get into it.
Well, how did you first get introduced to the theater organ?
Well, I was, I believe, 11 or 12 at the time, and I had gone to Disney World, and in the Haunted Mansion, there's a part where Gaylord Carter is playing an organ and it's a track that's recorded, but I thought that I'd never heard anything like that sound, so I looked more into it when I got home, and thanks to the internet, I found out that it was a Robert Morton theater organ. And when I was Googling that, I came across the ATOS website, and there I found a whole page of recordings, and my first recording I heard was one by Jelani Eddington, who's my current teacher, playing Die Fledermaus, the overture. So that's how I really got into it, and my parents made me take piano for 6 months just to see that I was serious with it, and then they bought me a small Lowry spinet organ that I started learning on, but I'm very glad that I started.
I forgot to mention that you hail from New York, right?
Yes, Massapequa.
What's the name of the town?
Massapequa. It's on Long Island.
Oh, okay. And now you're taking lessons from Jelani Eddington.
Yes.
Who's in Wisconsin. Now, how does that work?
Well, whenever possible, we meet face-to-face. For instance, when he was playing a concert at LIU Brooklyn, he stayed at my house and we had a lesson then. When he was playing up in Connecticut, I went up there and we had a lesson face-to-face, but most of the time we do it through Skype, which is just an internet video software. So he'll set up the camera on the organ at his house, I'll set up the camera on the organ on mine, and we'll have a lesson that way. And
that works pretty well, huh?
It works pretty well. I mean, you can't really hear some of the smaller details, like the pedal line is hard to hear, but for the most part it works. It's definitely better than nothing.
Oh, good. Have you performed, what's your track record so far as performance is concerned, other than obviously here at the convention? Well,
I think that I played a mini concert for the New York Theatre Organist Society in October, and I played one for the Garden State Theatre Organist Society back in May on a 310 Wurlitzer for one of their chapter meetings. I also played for NITOS again in Hyde Park at FDR High School on the Allen they have there. I did the intermissions for the musical they had, and I also gave workshops for the students. And prior to that, I went to Chaminade High School, where at the time was the only publicly playing theater organ on Long Island, so I played the intermissions there for I think 4 years of high school, yeah. and I still play there, but I haven't really formally performed more than twice or 3 times to count today.
Well, I would normally, if you were a seasoned player, I'd normally ask what is the most exciting program you've done. Do you have any that you could, the few that you've done that's the most exciting?
Well, I don't think anything really compares to this, just because this is by far the most people I've ever played for. The at Chaminade I played for probably the same amount of people, but no one, it was an intermission, so no one's really listening that closely. As far as actually performing goes, this is definitely the most. And ATOS and GS2S were exciting too, but this is a national level thing, so this is probably the most exciting one.
Well, okay, you got a long life ahead of you. What would be the ultimate place that you'd want to play at, either in the next few years or ever? You know, that you can say when you played that you've arrived, and it's a sort of an unfair question because you got a lot of mileage between now and then to go through.
Well, it's an unfair question. I think that probably Jasper Sanfilippo's house would be my ultimate goal. I've never even been there. I wasn't at the summer youth camp that year, but I definitely would love to play there, and I'd also love to actually perform at Oregon Stop Pizza if they have like a social or just a concert or something. But I'd also love to play Dickinson. There are plenty of places, but I think my top one would be Jasper Sanfilippo's.
Yeah, that's fairly easy to get into, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, Jelani's offered if I ever go that way to just take me down there and show me the organ, but to actually perform there would be my dream.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, now, as a youth rep to the board of directors, what do you think you're going to do or try to do?
Well, right now I'm working at a music store. I'm beginning to teach just basic organ lessons to older people. I'd like to do more of what I did in Hyde Park, which was travel doing workshops on even electronic theater organs work, just to present the instrument to the younger generation. And I'm trying to start something now within the New York Theatre Organist Society, where I will go back to Chaminade and teach the students there how to play the organ. But we're still trying to get that off the ground, but that's definitely one of my goals. And I'd really like to, more than anything, promote the playing of newer music on the instrument, because when the younger generation hears older music, not that there's anything wrong with it, they just don't connect with the instrument as well. So I think that in the coming years we definitely need to show them what the instruments can do and that they can play even today's popular music, and that's the direction I really want to take it.
Well, good. We're looking forward to having you on the ATOS Board of Directors, and I want to wish you well. We're going to sort of close this down. We don't know who watches these videos. We put them on YouTube, but it'll go up next week. What would be a message that you'd give to maybe one of your contemporaries that happens onto this YouTube even by accident?
I would say definitely, if you have never heard a theater organ, go to a venue where you can listen to all the recordings you want, but to get the full experience, you really have to go to a venue and listen to one in concert. And I would say all the things you've heard about the organ do not apply to the theater organ. It can handle classical music well too, but it really is a completely different instrument. And I think that if more people just gave it a chance, we'd have a lot more people interested in it. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I would say just make yourself go to a concert, even if you have to force yourself to go there, but allow yourself to enjoy it. Don't let the stereotypes about it bring you down. Really allow yourself to enjoy it. And I think if you do, you will.
Well, good, Dan. We wish you well in your upcoming years and in the competition today, and hope you enjoyed the rest of the convention. So we're going to close this down, and this is Jack Moelmann at the Strand Theatre in Marietta, Georgia, on July 5th, 2013, and we wish you well, Dan.
Thank you.